Today is Saturday, September 5th, and here's what I got done this week. First of all, I did manage to get a hangar. It's at a local airport. I was talking about it in the last video. It's got a little bit smaller runway than what I was hoping for, but it's definitely sufficient for the TSi, and especially after talking to a couple other people who have flown the pilot and talking with the factory, flown the plane and talking with the factory. Yeah, 2,900 feet by 50 feet wide. It's gonna be fine. So here's a little bit of the hangar. All right, so here's my hangar space that I got. I signed the lease for it last week. It's got an old PA-22 in it. They're gonna get it out of here for me. But even if they don't, it's 40 feet by 45 feet, so it's plenty big to get the plane in here for final assembly. And just gotta, sweep it out, clean it up, and it's got this big electric door. And yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I think it's gonna be a good situation. So let's see if I can go get some footage of the runway here. And yeah, so out the door, there's a taxiway to get it out to the runway. And I think it's going to be a good situation. So the best view of the runway I could get was from the road here, but looks like it's pretty nice. It should be perfectly acceptable. And as for what I got done this week, I got the engine, everything in the firewall forward is completely done now, and secured up with the zip ties and the rubber standoffs where they needed to be. One thing, this still needs to get put in its final resting place. There are threaded holes here and here on the engine, and I think I'm going to use the P-clamps to secure the oil line that goes to the oil cooler, as well as this wire in them. I don't see any problem with it. Rather than zip tying it to random parts on the engine there, I think that's a really sturdy mounting method. Something that I noticed when I was fitting all my cowlings and stuff is this GPS location that I chose, because there's two choices. I know that this is the primary location here that I opted to use for my ground lug there through the firewall. This mount location does not fit the GA35 antenna, so I'm gonna have to either make a part that comes off the side here to mount the antenna here, or just kind of take this whole thing off and make a mount bracket that just mounts it, an inch lower. Not a big deal, but definitely something to keep in mind for those of you who are out there building it. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like shipping is really tied up right now. So my original estimate for the extra Sikaflex to bond the windshield in was supposed to be Thursday of this week, and then it switched to Friday, and now it's not going to be here till today. So I didn't get to bond the windshield in, but I did permanently mount the panel in place. The only thing I haven't done is the hoses, just in case I have to pull it out one more time for any reason. I still have that option. Once the hoses are in, because I didn't use the quick connect fitting stuff, once the hoses are mounted, they're mounted. So I'm just gonna leave those out, but everything else is completely done. All these levers go to the vents. That's all attached. The ducting to the vents here is all connected. Everything's 100% done, including I rewired. The harness came with the flap motor. The position sensor on the flap motor went to the GEA-24. And when you use a VPX, the VPX likes to control everything about the flap. So I reran the wires from the flap motor there to the VPX to be completely integrated that way. So the only thing, it was going to be functional. It was functional with the how it was, but the only thing is that the VPX can program in your 10, 20, and 30 degrees from just a click rather than holding it down. And then it shows the position. So it was gonna work, but you would have to hold it down and then watch the position to get to the right thing. Now it's just one click, first notch, second notch, third notch, and then when you click up, it's a full retract. So that's all done and set up now. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the Sikaflex didn't come in time, otherwise the windshield would be bonded in place. But that's about it for this week. So once I get that windshield bonded in, I've got the doors off and over there, so they get painted off the plane. And once I get the windshield bonded in, I will tape off the door holes and start prepping the fuselage for paint. And the same thing with the wings. The wings are basically ready to go once I just put the rivets on the fuel tanks, and yeah, they're pretty much done. They just need to be prepped and finished for paint. So that's it for this week. It was a little bit less exciting other than the hangar than I was hoping for, but I think I'm set up for a good week next week. Hopefully I'll get some painting done. So have a good weekend, everybody.